All right, we're going to learn about fractional exponents. So the square root of 9 can be written as 9 to the 1/2 power. It's the same exact thing. So if you know the square root of 9, you also know what the answer is. So hopefully you all have in your head the answer is 3. So how would you write the cube root of 8? If the square root of 9 is 9 to the 1/2 power, what do you think the cube root of 8 is going to be? Hopefully you guessed right, and you said 8 to the 1/3 power. So the denominator of a fraction tells you what the root is. The denominator of the fraction tells you the root, and you know that the numerator is to what power? So what's the cube root of 8? What number times itself 3 times equals 8? And the answer to that is 2. So how about this one? I'm going to do the cube root of 8 first because it makes the number smaller. I should still get the same answer if I did it the other way around, but it's just easier to take a big number, make it smaller, and then raise it to a power. So first we do the cube root of 8, and that is, we just said 2. And then I raise it to the negative second power, which you all know is a quarter. So go ahead, try this one over here. Up top, 32 to the negative 2/5 power. Pause your video, give it a shot. All right, hopefully you got a quarter. The 5th root of 32 is 2, and 2 to the negative second is a quarter. All right. Now, how do you solve equations that have those cube roots and 4th roots and 5th roots? Just like you solve a square root equation. So for square roots, you just square both sides of the equation once the root is isolated. So we're going to do the same thing. So what are we going to do? We're going to take both sides, and we're going to cube them, and we get x is 8. And you could have done that in your head, obviously, because you saw it was the cube root of something is 2. So you undo square roots by squaring, you undo cube roots by cubing, you undo 4th roots by raising to the 4th power. So go ahead and try this one on the right-hand side. The cube root of x minus 3 is 3. Pause your video, give it a shot. Hopefully you got 30. All right. Go ahead and try this one. Pause your video and give that a shot. All right, hopefully you raised both things to the 4th power, both sides to the 4th power, undid the left side, gave you x plus 1, and solved from there. The cube root, the 4th root of 81 is 3. All right, pause your video and try this one. Hopefully you didn't say NRS because you saw this negative 3, which is a little tricky because we keep telling you can't take the square root of something can't be negative. But what is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3? It's negative 27. So I can take the cube root of negative 27 because the answer to that is negative 3. So if the roots are odd, you can root them if they're negative. So let's see what we got for an answer, and hopefully you got, by cubing both sides, you ended up with negative 6 as your answer. And if you need to look at my work, just pause the video. Go ahead, pause the video again and try this one. So on this question, you had to isolate, which we talked about a minute ago, isolate the root before you cubed both sides. So from here is when you would then cube both sides. You can't do it until you've isolated the square root or the cube root or the whatever root you're talking about. It's got to be alone before you can undo that. And then here's our last topic. If I want to solve this, I need to get these to a common base. Both 8 and 16 are powers of 2. So I'm going to change 8 to 2 to the 3rd, and I'm going to change 16 to 2 to the 4th. You know when you raise a power to a power that you multiply your exponents. So this becomes 2 to the 3x, and this becomes 2 to the 4x minus 12. Don't forget to distribute your 4. And then when I'm here, the exponents have to obviously be equal to each other. So I get x is 12. All right, now you're going to try one of those on your own. So pause your video. And hopefully you got an answer of, hold on, I'm going to scroll down, 4/13. So if you didn't get that, just pause the video and see if you can follow my work. I converted my 100 to a power of 10 and my 1,000 to a power of 10. This is section 9.8, which means you have successfully made it to the end of chapter 9. No easy feat. Congrats!